South Bronx district of New York, the king of Latin music, Tito Pente, is playing for his people. They call him the high priest of salsa music. Tito Pente and his band are playing on a weekday afternoon in New York's poorest district. Music, he says, keeps the Puerto Rican alive. No one's paying Puente today. Music is his social work. He's joined by pianist Charlie Pomer. Among those born of poor Puerto Rican parents in the ghettos of New York was Felipe.
I don't blame the United States or the New York City public school system for making sure that our children don't understand the music. It's not their job to do that. Their job is to make our kids automatons, to fit their system, their aesthetic, their way of doing things.
It's left to musicians like Charlie Palmieri to educate Puerto Rican children in their own culture. He gives music lessons after hours in a South Bronx school to preserve their links with the past.
To play it as an instrument because this was hung on a cow. And when they wanted to know in the field, the farmer wanted to know in the field where his cow was, he'd listen to the sound of the bell. Now the bomba, the plena, and the danza are rhythms of Puerto Rico. They come from that particular island. And then from Cuba, they have a whole stack of rhythms. Cuba has the la rumba, has la guaracha, has the mambo, has cha-cha-cha, it has son montuno, has son, and we just gonna have to pick one of them out. Let's pick out a rumba. It's an old-fashioned rumba. Now, we're here really to get together to learn a word that's been used quite a lot. And the word is salsa. Does anybody know what the word salsa means? Anybody? No, you don't know what salsa means? You mean to tell me when your mother starts cooking and she makes a bistec in salsa, you don't know what that is? It's sauce, right? But they have bands that play it with modern harmony, and they play it really together. And they use electrical instruments now, they use electric pianos, so they give it a terminology, and the terminology is called salsa. Okay, let's practice. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, go! I gotta record this. Okay, now we're gonna do it again. Okay, we're gonna do a little mambo. All right, we're gonna do a little number that I wrote a long time. It's called Mambo Show, and this is how it's gonna sound. Are you ready? I hope you are. Here we go. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go, keep playing. You.
Africa. Not just the rhythms, but also the words of Santeria are from the Yoruba tribe of West Africa. A secret summoning of African spirits for 400 years disguised behind Christian saints. On a public level, the Bomba Dance of the African plantation slaves takes its place as a tourist show in a Holiday Inn. It's about the violent death of a slave girl at the hands of her white owner. Example of the schizophrenia of modern Puerto Rico, that while performing for American tourists, the dancers become increasingly hypnotically possessed by the bomba rhythms which are at the root of their culture.
music has been able to adjust from a country rhythm, which was slower, to an urban-paced music. It's been able to survive that. Our music now is faster than it was 40 years ago. It's not the same rhythm. If you compare the clave, the rhythmic pulse of the 40s to the clave of the 70s, it's almost double the time. It's adjusted to cars, airplanes, speed of sound, speed of light, that kind of thing. Who knows, the 80s may have an even faster clave. But the point is that it's the street music that survives, the music of the people, because it is the conscience of the people. And that basically is what salsa is.
Many see in salsa not just the music of the streets, but of big business in the discos. For young, new Ricans, a Saturday night on the dance floors of a Latin club will mean forgetting the drudgery of their working week.
Here in New York City, we are among the most oppressed group. You've seen the dancers, you have seen the rhythm makers, but that belies what the political reality is, which is that those same people have to laugh to keep from crying. Every one of the musicians that you see is also very much a traditional music person. There's not one musician playing conga, playing trumpet, Puerto Rican or Cuban or Hispanic, who does not understand what the roots of this culture are. Not one. And that is something I'm very proud of. You will see other musicians in other cultures, and this is not to criticize them, it's just to show the extent of colonialism, who have totally had their roots almost ripped out of their brains. If you can see a giant claw going into the cranium and just lifting out the racial unconscious of a people, at least here on the streets of New York, they can feel African rhythms. They can see where the Indians have had an impact on our culture. They can see the mixture of those cultures. And I think that our music will be the music of the Americas. It is the music of the 80s and 90s. It will take an enormous amount of struggle on our part to make that happen. Street music will always survive. It is the music that transcends generations. African rhythms, street rhythms, that is what's survived because it has the intensity, the energy, the music of the barrios, because there just are more street people. There are more poor people. Also, the music, while still not having the lyrics that we would like, has the intensity, the rhythmic intensity that keeps our people moving. The music that we're talking about is a double-edged sword. It is escapist, it is trendy, it is faddish, but it also is innovative, it also is dynamic, it also is progressive. What determines what will live and what won't is the politics of a people and their experiences, what they go through. That is what determines whether the music will live or die.
Up till then, all that was known of Puerto Rican culture to outsiders was the Latin music of the New York nightclubs and Hollywood movies. In reality, this music had migrated to America with workers from Cuba and Puerto Rico. The Caribbean island of Puerto Rico had been desperately poor. Centuries ago, it was colonized by Spain, and then, at the turn of the century, the Americans moved in, and Puerto Rico became part of the American Commonwealth. That presented the slum dwellers of districts like La Perla with the chance to migrate to the city of New York, with dreams of riches they could never otherwise attain. They left the islands in their thousands for a better life. What they found were districts like the South Bronx, where Puerto Rican workers settled and raised families.
Those whom God has joined together, let no one put asunder.
Joe Conzo and Laura are marrying in the South Bronx today. The band leader, Tito Pente, is Joe's best man. Being a father of the community, the wedding would not be complete without him.
That you may find delight in each other and grow in holy love until your life's end. May you dwell in God's presence forever. May true and constant love preserve you. I give you this ring.
I give you this ring.
As a sign of my love and faithfulness.
A sign of my love and faithfulness.
Okay.
Like other Latin workers, musicians can't afford to turn down any opportunity. So after the wedding, Tito and his band will be off to another gig. Puerto Ricans take a great pride in their racial mixture, mostly black with Spanish, but with a bit of almost everything else thrown in. The community retained its own identity as it grew, largely through its music. Jamming with Tito Pente is drummer Ray Barreto.